Colour therapy is working and healing your own body using colours of the spectrum. We get all our energy from the sun, which basically is light refracted into colour. So therefore parts of our bodies respond to different colours. So when we have a negative thought or are surrounded by negative actions and people and situations, we can heal our bodies with colour in different ways. Well, the positive aspects of colour is vitality, health, abundance, and everything that is good. And this is what people should be. And the negativity of colour is a lack of or a depletion of a colour in a colour centre like a chakra is the lack of abundance, a lack of health, and anything that isn't perfect.
What are some of the examples of colours that are negative and positive?
Well, no colour is negative. It's all positive. And talking or saying negative is just not the whole. So if we think negatively, we're thinking against us rather than for us. So if you think against something, you're putting in negative input. But as far as colours go, there are no negative colours. I mean, you can get too much of a colour. If you put a person into a red room, I mean, the person would get so much energy that it could go mad. I mean, you wouldn't treat somebody with a headache, for instance, with red. You'd only make it worse. So you'd use blue to calm or green to heal. When somebody comes to me for a session, I usually check their chakras, which are their centres, to see if they're out or depleted or if there's a problem. I usually feel with my hands and feel if there are any blockages or tears in the aura, because this is where ailments first manifest. They will manifest in the aura before they hit the physical body. So if you can get to them then, the person doesn't always need to experience the physical effect. So then I go through and I balance the chakras, and I'll work on with energy and thought and colour. I then proceed to, with the person sometimes, if I think they're very exhausted, then I just do it with my thought. But energy always follows thought. So it's best if the patient on the table can also work with it. So you ask them to either bring up the red through their feet, working it through their body, so that they get an idea and a feel, so that they can feel the colour as well. And that will then also teach them to use it themselves. And then I work with, it depends on how much the person needs. If they have special or specific, if I pick up something specifically, well then I will work on an area. I will work, if they're surrounded by a lot of negativity, I will use either amber or an orange or mandarin or neroli, something like that, that will break up that negativity around them of negative thought patterns that they collected. And also, if they store a lot of negativity in their body, you then massage it down to release it. And you can release it through their arms, their fingers, down their legs, through their hair. And a person usually feels much lighter and relieved, almost like a weight's been taken off their shoulders. The colour puncture machines was invented by a colour therapist in Germany, and that works on the acupuncture points. And that works on balancing the chakras, it balances yin and yang, it works on specific illnesses, it works on if somebody's immune system is low, if someone's endocrine system, or their body's carrying a lot of toxins. You can work on special systems and special acupuncture points with the coloured lights and treat a person that way.
How about this thing that you were doing?
That's when you release energy, you can feel. So when a person has a lot of negative energy or thought that's kept in, you can release it by stroking it, and then it's almost as though it comes out of their finger and you just throw it off. To maintain a balance with colour, people could meditate and go through a visualization. They could fill their chakras and go through the different chakras from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to indigo and purple. And they could balance their chakras that way. And you could also, for illnesses, stomach upsets, you can have solarized water, which is using coloured bottles with purified water in it, left in the sun for a couple of hours. So if they sipped during the day some blue water, it would help them. Or if they needed more energy, orange water, etc. Also, the clothes you wear, if you need a boost, wear something orange. If you're going in for an interview and you want to get the job and you want to look impressive or something, wear an emerald green or something like that. So whichever is appropriate. Well, they really respond to the colours of where they are. So if you're working with your heart, you'll work with green and pink, and your stomach is yellow, and so organs and orange, and it relates to that. And then you have your specific areas where I use a colour puncture torch that works on the acupuncture points, and that works with systems, the endocrine system and the immune system. You can't damage yourself with colour, not in visualization or in the way you wear your clothes and things. Everyone has a sense where you will not want to wear a certain colour or drink a certain or eat a certain food for a long time. So you can't really, your body has a mechanism that will cut off before you. If you purposely went and just, infiltrated red, well then I suppose you would get very hyper. And in a negative sense, yes, you can overdo it like that, but basically no. People deplete their energy centers more rather than overdo it, because we don't have enough sunshine. So if everyone went out in the early mornings and got the rising sun and meditated in that for half an hour, you'd be balanced without doing anything else. Either way, if you go to a colour therapist, it's probably easier because you get taken through the whole treatment, and she can usually tell you where you're depleted and why, because it's usually not. Most of the causes lie behind the action or the situation, so it goes a little deeper. And most colour therapists are usually trained in some sort of psychology or something like that. Well, to heal with colours is when you incorrectly think, you damage your organs and your body. And through constant either criticism or fear or abandonment, anything that all your thought patterns then go into certain organs or certain joints or whatever. So therefore you will create a blockage. So working with colour, if you know where the problem is, if you can recognize the problem, yes, then you can heal it. This is why you go to a colour therapist, because when you start talking to a therapist, they'll say, well, this is because such and such. And so they'll release the blocks and teach the person how to do it. And it should be taught as a self-healing method. So you should be able to go away and then be able to treat yourself. Well, I hope that people become more aware and use it in their daily life. And as they become more aware, so will other people. But it starts with yourself. And once you use colour and you start to work with colour more, you will feel the benefits. And they're very, very rewarding